Sherlock Holmes. Let's see what we have.
This information board is almost empty. It is about the signing in book.
Alright.
It is potassium nitrate, isn't it?
Yes. Saltpeter or whatever.
It is the guard's guest book, perhaps for distinguished guests. These weapons are obviously ready to use in case of emergency.
Alright. Let's see here. What's this?
This device must be the alarm.
The alarm. Larma. Alright, let's go down into the prison and see what we have here.
Here's the famous high security area.
Warden Mackenzie, at your service, sir.
Good morning, Warden. I have a pass which allows me to speak with prisoner Hans.
Very well. It is the cell at the end to your left. I'd advise you to walk in the middle of the corridor.
Because those two brothers are here, aren't they?
What should we...
No, I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to
Warden?
you. Ah, he doesn't say anything.
I'm gonna kill my brother. But before that, I'm gonna make him eat his own eyes. Just for a laugh.
Nasty fella.
What do you want? You're a friend of my brother, are you? That dirty rat. I'm gonna have his guts for garters.
Also a nasty fella. Alright, let's leave them be. The person we're interested in is this guy.
Hans Schielmann, I require some information from you.
So, who do we have here? The celebrated Sherlock Holmes himself. Do you know that for all the time I have spent rotting in here, you are my first and only visitor? I think this is cause for celebration, a confrontation between two geniuses, two extraordinary minds.
I am afraid that you are not quite as great a chemist as you believe you are, Mr. Schielmann. I will not say that you never were. No, it was certainly true once. But you see, while you are whiling away your days in here, it appears that someone on the outside is at the point of surpassing you, if that is not already the case.
Yes, I heard about that. A chemical poison that eats away at the flesh and provokes hysteria. I recognize talent when I see it, but it's only a matter of time before I win back my laurels, believe me.
What can you tell me?
That depends on what you can bring to me.
What do you want?
Do you know why I am treated so harshly? For my meals I am given nothing but a hunk of bread, and even then not just any sort. The...
Get to the point.
Never interrupt me! Where was I? Oh yes, the bread. Did you know that with a little rye yeast, a pinch of moss, certain cockroach secretions, just enough light and damp, with a few other ingredients that I will keep quiet about, I succeeded in poisoning half the staff here. Unfortunately, a little something was omitted, which would have made the results fatal. Instead, it merely caused acute attacks of stress and powerful hallucinations. Even so, I got a great laugh out of watching them cry like babies when they saw their most primitive fears materializing before them.
You are a monster, Mr. Schielmann.
Thank you.
It wasn't a compliment.
But of course it was! You others, you ordinary, narrow-minded people, you are afraid of anything that you cannot comprehend. You call me a monster because what you find impossible to face is just the slightest fraction of my genius. If by monster you mean someone who is nothing like you, then it is a compliment.
So, pen?
What do you need?
Very little. Just something to write with. You see, my brain races like an engine with too many thoughts. I see them crackle and explode into thousands of formulae right in front of me. What a torture not to be able to write them down. What a hell to see them vanish just as quickly as they appear to me. Just bring me something that I can write with.
That's all. That seems an easy enough request to fulfill.
But listen, I don't want a vulgar inkwell and a pigeon's feather. No, I need material fit for my talent. I want my ink pen. Bring it to me, and I will be happy to pass on to you a little of my knowledge of modern chemistry.
Where is it?
It was confiscated upon my arrival here. I suppose it might be in my locker, in the locker room. Leave me now, and
Alright, so
see you.
we need to get his inkwell. Should believe there's something special about it. But I'm not sure what. But we'll probably soon find out.
I'm glad to have been a...
Can you tell me where I might find the locker room?
In the corridor that leads to the director's office. That's where the prisoners' civilian stuff is held. But seeing the length of their sentences, they've little chance of ever getting it back.
Can you open the locker room for us? We would like to inspect Shielman's personal items.
No, Mr. Holmes. I'm not responsible for that.
Alright, so the secretary has all the keys. So, let's go and talk to her again then. Hello, my lady.
Miss, may we borrow the keys to the locker room?
You will need authorization from the director to open that door. If you wait a moment, then I will inform him.
We will wait, thank you.
Alright.
Anything new? Mr. Holmes?
Not yet. We must first cast light upon...
What can I... Mr. Holmes?
Yeah. Skip that.
We need to examine Shielman's civilian clothing.
Very well, but be extremely careful.
What do you mean?
In that madman's compartment, you will find a strange little coded case which refused point blank to open when he was incarcerated. We did try to force it, but without success.
Didn't you ask the experts?
Of course we did. Experts from Scotland Yard came to examine it, where they came to the conclusion that it was better that the case remained shut than tampered.
I see. They were afraid that some poison or other might...
Exactly. Bear in mind that this man is an evil genius, a master poisoner, and that his poisons are never ordinary. Here's the key to the locker room. I give you the authorization to open it.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Patterson.
Miss Patterson, the guards are still waiting for you to put up the duty list. Do it as soon as possible. Without it, the changing of the guard cannot take place. Or had you forgotten?
Alright.
Dry your tears, miss. I'm certain that your father didn't mean to hurt you.
Mr. Watson, I can't put up the duty list. And when he finds out, he'll be furious.
Why can't you?
It's in my locker, in the cloakroom. and I've lost the key.
Your aunt.
Say no more, Holmes. As you keep repeating, time is against us. Let's go and look at the things in the rat killer's locker.
Let's see, check room, cloak room.
Closed.
Entryway. Let's see, where's the locker room? Maintains.
This is the entrance to the ordinary... Closed.
Alright, is it the check room then?
The locker room.
Alright, so check room is locker room. There we go.
Here is the locker of our friend, Hans, the mad scientist.
Let's see what we have in here now.
What a jumble.
A paper knife. Blotting paper. This solid box must hold a precious object. Let us see.
Oh. As soon as the catastrophe came to be known, the alarm from mouth to mouth was blown. As the career rang out all of the town, God heavens, the train burst run down. And passenger trains from Edinburgh, which fills all the people's hearts with sorrow, and then made them turn pale because none of the passengers.
A poem in... No, it... I can't do that. Nothing of interest here. This...
Because I have no idea.
That's
what
not
to
right.
do here.
Start again. That's not right. Start again.
This I have no idea what to do with. I mean, there should be some sort of... As soon as the catastrophe came to be known, the alarm from mouth to mouth was blown. I have no idea. Guinness.
That's not right. Start again.
There's 4 things that should be in order, but I have no idea what. Alright, I will have to look at the walkthrough on this, I believe.
Nothing of interest here. Nothing of interest here. Nothing of interest here. Nothing of interest here. No, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. Blotting paper.
What the hell am I supposed to do? I have no clue. Alright, I will have to check a walkthrough on this. I'll be right back, guys. Alright, guys, this seems to be like this. As you can see, there's a hole here, 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 and there should be one more somewhere. Yeah, over there.
Blotting paper.
So if we do it like this, and then take the knife...
This cannot be a simple coincidence.
and such. So it's H, K, B, and S. H, S, was it K? Yeah. And B. That's it.
Perfect.
What is written on that note, Holmes?
Later, Watson, later. We can give Hans his pen.
Alright. I have a feeling that there's more to this pen that meets the eyes.
What a bunch of incompetents. Oh, if I was as unprofessional as that, there would be murderers running all over the town.
What's the matter? Are you a patient of Dr. Watson?
Very amusing.
I was going on about the dry cleaners in Westgate Street. They've just delivered my ceremonial uniform in the middle of my duty, when I've told them 1,000 times not to bring it until after 6 in the evening.
A ceremonial uniform? You've been promoted?
No, and that's not about to happen. No, I've been invited to a wedding. I mean, I hope to be. I'm in trouble. If the director sees that I've left my post, I'll be sacked without pay.
Give it to me, Warden Brighton. I'll take care of it for you.
Really? Thanks a lot. Here's the key to the cloakroom and that of my locker. I'm really grateful, Mr. Holmes.
What have you got in mind, Holmes? You're not doing this out of kindness, are you?
No, out of curiosity. We will be able to access the cloakroom with these keys.
Alright, and what should we do in the cloakroom?
Stop. Closed.
Alright, I should have gotten a couple of keys.
Closed.
Wrong key. There we go.
Here is Brighton's locker.
So...
Bicarbonate of soda. Brighton must have an upset stomach, caused by stress without a doubt. The name on the key is Jenny Patterson. That is interesting.
yeah, that's really interesting actually. So... why does he have her key?
Let us examine Miss Patterson's locker.
Alright.
The lock on this box is rather sophisticated.
Rather?
Is Jenny hiding something?
Alright, sorry about that, guys. Yeah. Alright, sorry. I will just turn my sound off. There we go. Alright, let's see what we have here. We can't place them in the dark areas. I have no idea if they should be connected or something. Let's see, I can move all of these. There should probably be a starting point somewhere. So that one should be there. That seems reasonable enough. Does everyone have to connect to something, and does it have to connect further? The problem is that I can move everyone. There we go. Is that it?
It's really very clever. Little Jenny is astonishing.
Little. My Jenny, let's get married. Never mind the consequences. Your father will have to accept the fact that we are in love. Think about the baby and don't forget that. I love you, and I've written a poem.
A letter from Brighton to Jenny. Barely literate.
Apparently, Jenny is carrying Brighton's child, and it seems that Jenny's father, the director, is unaware of this.
Service sheet, placement card.
Here is the famous guard duty.
Jenny Patterson, Frank Brighton, a single heart with two souls, eternal love.
A locket, sealing the relation between Jenny and Warden Brighton. Decidedly, this boy is not a great poet.
No. Can agree on that one. Should we go and speak to Miss Jenny, perhaps?
Let us... We have found the guard duty cards, miss. If you like, I can go and discreetly give them to the guards.
Oh, thank you. You've got me out of a lot of trouble, Mr. Holmes.
Of course. The problem is... Oh.
Sorry, sirs.
Sorry, Mr. Holmes.
For what reason?
The door has locked itself automatically. We must enter a new security code.
Do it, then.
Miss Patterson hasn't put up the guard duty list yet. Without that information, we don't know who's authorised to take note of the new code.
So Mackenzie is locked in the
Yes, but don't worry about him. He's trained for this sort of dysfunction.
Why not ask the director to take note of...
He isn't allowed to, and I doubt that he would run the risk of going against the orders of the administration centre. Anyway, the bars in the high security section are joined to the alarm system, which is in that room. We only need to sound it to unblock, but you see, we can't do that now.
We'll try to find the duty.
Here you go.
We have found Chief Warden James's duty list.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Rhodes. Let's see. O'Sullivan, it's you who takes over from Mackenzie. Take note of the code, please, and unblock the door.
At once, Chief. Ah, Mr. Holmes, could I ask you for a favour?
Please do.
I think I can say on behalf of all the staff that we would be honoured if you would care to write something in our guest book.
With pleasure, O'Sullivan. You seem worn out, O'Sullivan. A good night's sleep would do you good.
A good night's sleep would do me good. You're right, Mr. Holmes.
Is something worrying you?
As you know, Westgate Prison will soon be demolished, and I'm spending most of my nights studying for my exam to join the police. You understand, I have to think about my future, so sleep isn't a priority at the moment.
Scotland Yard is always looking for young, competent and motivated men. Would a letter of recommendation from me allow you to get some sleep?
What? A letter from Mr. Sherlock Holmes recommending me for Scotland Yard? Are you quite serious?
Completely serious, my young friend. May I use this writing paper? The one on your desk.
1,000 thanks, Mr. Holmes. 1,000 thanks.
It is addressed to Inspector Baines, a good friend of mine. There's no need to remind you that it must be opened only by the person to whom it is addressed.
Yes, of course. I'll give it to him personally. Thank you again, Mr. Holmes. At your...
Of course, of course.
The guards must...
Now we can move on again.
Well,
Your pen.
You have what you wanted, your precious pen.
you seem annoyed, Mr. Holmes. I would even go so far as to say terribly worried.
Why should you care, Mr. Shielman? Let's talk about that poison.
I am not talking about you in the grip of natural emotions found in ordinary people who are confronted by the inexplicable. But as for Mr. Holmes, you are embarrassed, aren't you? Are you hiding something?
That is enough, Shielman.
You have kept your word. Therefore, I will keep mine. At this moment. The poison which so interests you isn't finished yet. Its maker is encountering great difficulties in attaining the desired results.
What is the end result?
Now, Mr. Holmes, the end result of any science, as Descartes once said, to become the master and owner of nature. Here we are talking about human nature, of course, and the creator's problem isn't so much the mixture as the durability of his creation.
What do you mean?
You see, this poison was made using rare but very volatile short-living compounds, which means that it is only possible to produce small quantities, which most importantly do not keep for a long time. Conceiving such a product in a laboratory especially built for the purpose could be achieved by any good chemist. But recopying this alchemy on another scale and keeping it ready at any moment, observing the particular conservation and storing conditions that a substance of this type requires, well, that would need a genius. I doubt if the creator of this mixture would be capable.
And you would be, of course.
Of course.
Luckily, you are going to spend the rest of your life in prison.
Luck is cyclical. It always comes around again, sooner or later. As far as I am concerned, I have the feeling that the cycle is going to be very short.
Yeah, also,
Holmes, it sounds to me as though this Shielman is implying that an escape attempt will be made.
Yes, we must go and warn the director.
yeah, we must. Alright, around and around and around we go. Secretary's office.
It is out of the question that your bastard is named Patterson. Very well. You refuse to reveal the father to me? Well then go and join him. I'm not stopping you.
I can't.
Director, you will have to postpone this small family reunion. We believe that a serious scheme is afoot. We must act without delay.
You're not thinking of...
Yes, Shielman's words leave no room for doubt. It seems that he is planning an escape attempt. We strongly advise you to search his cell.
Do you really believe that he's hiding something? Because I must make an official report and have a legitimate reason for doing a search.
Director, if this prison is still in operation, it is solely because of its reputation. Think of the consequences of an escape. It would be closed at once. And what post do you imagine would be offered to the person deemed responsible?
You're right. No one will escape from Westgate under Patterson. I will order an immediate search of Mr. Shielman's cell.
Chief Warden James reporting. The search of prisoner Hans Shielman's cell has been carried out. No suspicious items were found.
Thank you, Chief James. I feel better now. Without wishing to offend you, Mr. Holmes, I am glad that you were mistaken.
If I'm not mistaken, we've nothing more to do here. Shall we go, Holmes?
There's just one more thing for me to see, Watson.
What's that?
Mr. Holmes, sorry to interrupt you, but Miss Jenny wishes to see you alone. She's waiting for you in her office.
This, Watson.
How did you know?
Wait for me in the guard's room. I won't be long.
What an extraordinary gentleman that Sherlock Holmes is. You must have had lots of adventures with him.
Oh, yes, dozens.
Thought he was infallible, but there wasn't anything out of the way in the rat killer's cell. Could he have been mistaken?
I must admit.
Warden Brighton, In my office immediately! That's an order.